In this video, I'm reading part 2 of the Yandere Impostor story, written by ElectricDust. I'll leave links down below so you can support the author and read more of their stories. Definitely go check them out. I've got a bunch of regular Creepypasta story videos coming as well, so if you're sick of the Among Us stories, don't worry, there's other content coming. Lots of people enjoy them, so I decided to keep making these. If it makes you feel any better, as punishment for milking these Among Us videos, I just had one of my wisdom teeth ripped out about an hour ago while I was still conscious by my Russian dentist, and that was pretty much the closest experience I've had to being tortured, so I'd say that's my fair share of karma for making these videos. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. I'm gonna go take some Panadol. Among Us, Yandere Impostor. Where do you think you're going, White? His voice was so terrifyingly low, you couldn't help crying from more than just the pain you felt. You were so afraid. I didn't wait in this damn place for hours for you to go hide again. You were crying, heavily at that. Everything hurt. Purple still had his leg crushing your right hand, and you were terrified to death. You thought self-reflecting back in Electrical would have made your death just a tad bit more accepting, that it would make you feel somewhat ready, and she couldn't have been more wrong. You were afraid to even breathe, almost like it was a crime and everyone was watching. You wished to be anywhere but here. Fate had other plans. That much was obvious. Where do you think you're going? Purple repeated. That damn voice sent even more shivers down your spine. And not the good ones. Your mind didn't know how to react. To answer or just continue crying. Despite it, your lips let out a sound, not really forming any words yet again. You could swear Purple's face darkened even more behind their suit, and it was already hard enough to see anything behind the visor. That is probably what made it even more intimidating. You gave up on words as your body and emotions just didn't want to cooperate with your decisions. Silent crying soon became full-on wailing. You didn't care how embarrassing it looked. The opinion of your soon-to-be murderer sure did not matter. The sound of crying was just bouncing off the walls, making it even louder in the imposter's ears, while his target's body shook with zero control. Shh. Purple quietly whispered, while removing his foot from the arm he most likely broke. In slow motions, he crouched down to be just a bit closer to you and less threatening. No need to cry, White. Now he was just playing with your emotions. What the heck does this person want with you? Get me out of this hell. Shh. His confusing actions seemed to have worked just a tiny bit. You still wailed, but with less intensity. It confused you to great lengths. Are they trying to comfort you? The sole reason behind your cries? Why? I don't get it. What is going on? Purple ever so slowly leaned down, yet again towering above you. He gently bonked the glass of your helmet with his own. Stop crying. Suddenly the voice became so stern, but it made you shut up and swallow the cries. The waterfalls were still dripping from your eyes as you sniffed instead of producing more sounds. Hands were placed on both of your shoulders now to control your massive shuddering. Like a caged animal, you obeyed your captor in fear of incoming pain, going as far to try to reduce the shaking to the best of your abilities. Purple seemed pleased enough. Good girl. The voice purred at you gently, just for this praise. Slowly the pressure on your shoulders left as they stood up once again. Get up, Now, he wasted no time going back to that terrifying tone of voice, though with less shaking, you still struggled to stand up properly, too stressed from everything. Your broken hand did not help. Leaning down on it in hopes of pushing your body up to a sitting position, later standing, was a huge mistake. You bit down on your tongue, trying not to scream, as waves of pain racked your body. You expected slow death, but not this slow. This was agony. Maybe you should eject yourself into space the moment he takes out his knife. The pain tolerance you have isn't enough for whatever this monster has in store for you. Panicked eyes of the white suit's owner looked left and right, discreetly. There was no place to run to, except your hiding spot Purple still wasn't aware of. It's your best bet. Your stomach growled as a reminder to you that you came here to eat, catching Purple's ears, but not your current survival instincts. You did a mad dash in the direction of the dark room that is electrical. You didn't get far though. As you guessed it, you were slammed to the wall, hard. It hurt like hell, and you soon understood that the previous floor slam was somewhat weak and not to the murderer's full potential. It made you let out a scream. You should have known better, White. We already went through this a second ago, when you attempted to scamper away. Based on the sound, you could tell that their lips were near your ear, despite the suit's equipment being in the way. And you should know, there is nowhere to go. You can't get off this ship, even if you wanted to. Now, maybe I felt generous to share some of the food, but at the very mention of food, your stomach growled, making Purple chuckle. Too much has happened, and you simply forgot the main reason you came here. It's not your fault there is a serial killer in front of you, not even 2 meters away. I have other plans for you. I'm going to make sure to break you enough till you are perfect. One of his hands went up towards your helmet, releasing the clasp and taking it off, before carelessly tossing it aside. The loud clang of the helmet as it connected with the floor jolted you upright in shock. His hand met your cheek, caressing it softly, before wiping away the tears that had been falling down your cheeks. Shh, calm down. Calm? Inwardly you cried, as you had never been so confused and terrified in your life. To your surprise, Purple backed away from you, taking exactly 3 big steps backwards. The coldness of his touch on your cheek left along with it. It's like he suddenly learned what personal space was, when just minutes ago there was none. You had a feeling that you will never learn this guy's weird train of thoughts. You have just been standing still, expecting for something to happen, yet he was just staring at you. You glanced around the cafeteria, very obviously looking for a means of escape, but it didn't bother the imposter when you took your chance to flee. In fact, he stood there, perfectly still, slightly turning his head around to watch you leave. Once you entered the hallway, Purple merely turned around to the opposite direction to go make himself some coffee. In reality, he only drank the thing for the taste. His kind, whatever he was, did not need sleep or coffee to keep them awake, something that would not stop him from enjoying it. Not like you knew any of this currently. Entering that hallway to you was like using a portal, finding a completely different world. The moment you stepped into it, the majority of your worries went away. You were a safe distance away. Deep down, you knew he just decided to let you go for whatever reason, but you had no plans of being in that room with him. Only now, truly paying attention to where you were, you knew you picked the hallway right of the cafeteria. You just passed the navigation room as your foot suddenly sank into something, making you trip and loudly hit the floor with your face. "Ow," you whined quietly. Just in case, you sharply turned around to check if Purple followed you. But there was no one in the hallways. Just you and the tiniest drop of someone's blood on a random wall. You couldn't remember who got killed here prior. Some victims shared the places. At least the smell of blood did not linger around. Glancing down, you noticed your foot was stuck in the vent, whose form was bended, unnatural. You knew your weight and fall were not the ones responsible for the vent's odd shape. The vent, however, was responsible for your foot getting stuck. You hoped the imposter didn't do this to play with you. It was scary even imagining him under that vent. Did they trip you and make you get stuck? With that train of thought, you tried twisting your foot to get it unstuck in panic. He will surely get you any minute now. Steps were heard. Knowing everyone else on the ship was killed off, except the imposter and you didn't have to ask who they belonged to. You started screaming dramatically, shaking and twisting your foot and banging on the vent, all in a futile attempt to get free. "What the heck are you doing, White?" "Huh?" "I came because I heard something hit the floor." You stopped screaming and looked away from your foot, seeing Purple in the hallway with his coffee mug in hand. "He heard you fall? He wasn't in the vent?" You froze for a second, till you processed the situation. Completely ignoring Purple, you did everything to get your foot unstuck, but you just couldn't. It was wedged in so tight. Now at least you knew where he was. Your ears picked up on Purple's movements. He was coming your way, and you did not like it one bit. You were wildly struggling, your heartbeat increasing the closer they got to you. No way in hell will you let him near you. You still had a broken arm he gave you not even 10 minutes ago. This is probably why this task was so much harder for you to do. Your arm stinging whenever you accidentally moved it instinctively. Purple was right upon you now, crouching down behind you, and in a smooth motion, he grabbed your foot. "No!" you screamed at him, in fearful panic. At this point, you were sick of that feeling. The entire day, it did not leave you, and even now, it racked your body. Purple just had a talent for making you absolutely terrified of everything he does, ever since he stopped hiding his true identity. His hands tightly gripped your leg, giving it a gentle push. In an instant, your foot was free. As the bastard still held your foot, all you could do was crawl on the floor in blind panic, in hopes that somehow you will get free. All the tears and shivering were back, as you were a sobbing mess on the floor. 2 minutes of not seeing him was not enough for you to fully calm down. He hurt you, and even the current grip he had on you hurt slightly. Purple's presence was everything but a positive thing for you. After what felt like an eternity, he did release your foot, however, and so you ran away, the proper way. Only when you gained a safe distance did you start thinking about him letting you go. Twice. You had no idea what his reasoning behind it was, nor why the sudden change of personality. It was all way too confusing. You were tired from the whole ordeal you had experienced today. Maybe it would have been better if he had just ended your misery. As terrifying as that would be, it would at least be quick and a small price to pay when compared to your current condition. Finally, in the safety of your old hiding spot, did you take a look at yourself? You knew your foot was bruised without having to remove the boot to examine it. Your arm was broken and bleeding slightly. Your body shook vigorously. You were covered in some blood that Purple had smeared on you from his own suit. The inside of your helmet was damp from tears, and they were still flowing. Climbing on top of the machine wall again, you curled up and hugged your legs, the motion stinging your injured arm, but you were past caring. You just cried loudly for what felt like hours. You knew this spot was not safe anymore, for the very reason that you were giving away your location, but you could not help yourself. Crying so much made you more tired and numb. It was exactly what you needed. Exhausted, and without realizing, you soon fell asleep, and your body welcomed it. As always, this video was brought to you by my awesome patrons, who you can see on screen right now. With all the crazy stuff going on in the world right now, it really helps out a lot, the support you've shown to me over on Patreon. I really appreciate it, and just want to say thank you, and I'll do my best to keep bringing better and better videos for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.